Hello and welcome to Tarot with Honey. Today we're doing another deck review. It's a part of the tarot card and oracle card deck review, which will be in the playlist. So if you're interested in seeing other deck review videos that I've done, definitely click on the playlist after you finish this one. And each of the decks, the title of the deck will be in the description, or the subject and the description of the video. So this is very exciting. I'm bringing another review here for everyone to check out. Today we are going to be looking at the Angels of Abundance Oracle. I don't think I mentioned it, but if you guys have not subscribed, go ahead and click the subscribe button above so that you could get notification for more videos like this. And it also supports the channel so that I can make more content for those of you who are interested in it, curious about it, those of you who have been thinking about buying some of these oracles, but you didn't really know what was inside. You didn't know what it cost, things of that nature. I'm going to give you the tea on each of these oracle decks, all the descriptions as much as possible so that you can make a decision and feel like you've made the best decision whether or not you want to invest in these decks, because decks are getting a little bit more costly these days, and rightfully so. You know, it is an investment to create it, print it, everything like that. We are supporting businesses and creatives, so nothing wrong with it. But here today, as a tarot reader, as an intuitive reader, I'm going to give you as much detail as possible according to my little checklist criteria that I've created so that you guys can make your own decision on whether or not you want to get the deck. So let's begin. This is, again, the Angels of Abundance Oracle card deck. This is 44 cards in the deck. Here is the case. I am a case person. I love cases. I love them because when I'm reading, I don't know. Excuse me. I'm drinking a little bit of a smoothie, so gave me a little sounds there. But anyway, when I'm doing readings and stuff like that, when I'm looking for cards, I want to know what deck to use. I want to see what I feel connected to. And honestly, seeing this doesn't do much for me, even though it's quite beautiful. I mean, it does a lot for me, but not when I'm selecting. I like to see the cover, so I like to keep my boxes. I like to keep everything organized, dust-free, dent-free, water-free, whatever, bug-free. And I find that these cases are really nice to help you to do so. So that's why I like that. I like when it comes in these as opposed to just the dusters. If the duster comes, then I keep both, but I like the box. It also comes with a little guidebook, which, like I said in my other deck reviews, most of the decks come with a guidebook. This one is black and white, but it's really not a big deal. I will say that they did spare some expenses on this little booklet. Very light, very thin. Nothing to write home about, honestly. So there's that. So we're gonna put this off to the side. And then let's begin with the actual cards. So these cards, I'm not sure if you've seen any of my other videos. If you have not, go check them out after you finish this one. I have a thing with shuffling. It's the weirdest thing. Sometimes it's a little bit hard for me to shuffle, but I shuffle, I get it done, and the messages are clear. So at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. But this deck, I really like the size of this deck. As I mentioned in other videos, I have relatively long fingers for a woman, but that doesn't mean, like, for me, I still don't like huge, chunky decks. This one feels right for me. Whenever I'm doing a pull, I like the way it feels in my hand. It makes sense to me. It's 44 cards, which also I like because sometimes the decks can get a little bit extensive and wide. And that also is something that somebody's work is about to change. This is a reading here. Someone's work is about to change. I don't know. This is definitely a personal preference. And this is why I also have the 5, little checkpoints, because everyone has their own personal preference. Everyone has something that they love or they don't care about when it comes to selecting a deck. So the more information I can provide, the better you could really make that decision. But yeah, for me, 44 cards, this feels right. The card stock is very nice. It's very, very nice. Not cheap. Doesn't feel like it's going to break. Has a nice little bounce back to it. There's no real indentations in the cards themselves from being used. Also, keeping the box keeps them in a nice condition. Some people don't care about that. Some people, they're fine with their tattered cards. That's cool. If that's you, that's fine. If you like tattered cards, if you like worn cards, that's fine. Everyone has their personal preference. I think too, it also depends on how many decks you use and how many rotations people, have. If they're going with one deck more than the next, it could really tatter them a little bit easier, which is fine. But this one, card quality and size, I would say I like it. It's easy for me to shuffle, which is saying a lot. Print quality, I think this is absolutely gorgeous. There's like a protective coating on here, which is nice. So they invested in that, which means that these cards will last for a long time. And then I always like to talk about points 2 and 3, which are the print quality and imagery. I like to talk about it together. So we're going to go through and flip through the cards. I'm going to try to get this in the middle as much as possible so that you can see. These cards are stunning. The messages in the cards are so potent and powerful that I think it's worth investing in this type of narrative. The visual aspect of it may appear a little old school, what have you, but the messages, the spirit, the enlightenment on these cards they're incredible. Absolutely incredible. Definitely powerful. So let's read this. As you consistently save for your future is saved. You do your future self a big favor as you consistently set aside present funds. This is a part of your self-care and path to feeling secure as you focus upon your life purpose. These cards are just absolutely gems. Astonishing gems. Okay? Partnership. Allow healthful, supportive partnerships into your personal life and career, and both parties benefit as a result. You are receiving help from heaven and from a person who brings needed skills and resources. Really it really hits the nail on the head. When you're going through, and forget about it. When you're doing this with tarot, it's like, it's really something else. So yeah, these cards are quite beautiful, quite powerful, inclusive for those who like that in a deck. So we have a variety of imagery, different types of images, colors, backgrounds, sun, moon, angels, animals. This is absolutely stunning. God is your source. Let's stop on that for a minute. This deck is just so powerful. I have not really stopped on any of the other decks too much, but for some reason I'm feeling this deck has so much potent energy to it. Let's just take a quick pause and look at this really quickly. God is your source. Everything you need is supplied by the infinite source of God, and your faith opens the doorway to receive it. In God, there is no lack or limitation. Rather, there is plenty of abundance for all to share. So there's that. Got power of prayer. Okay. As we're flipping through, we're looking at the imagery. What do I feel from the imagery? I feel like the imagery is very representative of certain, how can I put this? It evokes the spirit for sure. I would say it evokes the spirit for sure. I think the imagery is very clear. It's very thought-provoking. For me, I definitely feel a connection to the deck. Look how incredible this is. She has the world in her hand. It's just so beautiful. When I channel, I tend to get a little bit quiet, which is a little bit interesting as a tarot reader. I know sometimes people like to hear things fast, but when you're channeling, sometimes that moment of silence is what's needed. I think this deck is absolutely stunning. I think that the anointing, the energy, the feelings, the connections that come with this deck would lead to a very effective reading for both yourself and for the person or persons that you're reading for. I think the messages are absolutely timeless, and they would be effective for any situation, really. And the title of this deck is Angels of Abundance. So the theme is abundance. So in the spirit of abundance, in the spirit of wealth, tangible things as well. So you'll see a lot of that in the actual subject matter of the deck. And then before we finish flipping through the deck, the word description I also want to talk about. On first sight, seeing I just noticed that those are the same images. Very cool. On first sight, seeing all of the words, it may feel overwhelming. It might feel like, oh, this is a lot. Am I going to read this during a reading with someone? That kind of thing. But I will say that this is very profound, and it doesn't hurt a reading. It doesn't hurt a reading specifically for this deck. I think it adds value to the deck. I think it adds clarity to the reading. these messages really don't get any clearer. So for it to be here, it doesn't offend me whatsoever. I think it's actually the right portion. It's not too much, not too little. And it's visually pleasing as it corresponds with the images. So here you have the title, you have the image, and then you have 4 or 5 lines, depending, giving a description of the actual subject of the card. Because of the content, because of how rich it is and how powerful it is, it doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't offend me at all. So I would say that having that is not a bad thing. As you can kind of see, you know, they've gone with maybe a little bit muted colors, nothing too bright or vibrant, but very appropriate for the deck, for the theme. It doesn't offend me whatsoever. It doesn't take away from the beauty. I think this is still a beautiful, beautiful deck. Very, very powerful, very interesting. I will say that the cover, the back of the deck, not unless this is like, you know, angels or the sky, but it doesn't kind of feel like it goes with this. I don't know. Let's look at it like that. Like, in other words, if I were looking at this deck like this, I would not think that it would look like this, or like this, or like this, you know, like that on the inside of the deck. For some reason, like, I feel like the deck, the color of it should be, I don't know, another color. Like the back of the deck maybe should be like a pastel-y or something. Does that make sense? Here, take a look at it. Take a look at it. Let's see. Right? It looks like 2 different decks. But anyway, those are my thoughts about that. Again, it doesn't make or break the deck or the value or the beauty or the potency of the deck at all. So I quite like it. I quite like this deck. And let's see. I'm gonna try to get a couple out while I check the price. I have to check the price. I'm not sure. I don't remember how much I purchased the deck for, and I've probably said that very thing for all of the other decks, but let me just double check and see what I purchased this deck for. I want to say I got it on Amazon. Huh. Okay. Yes. Oh, okay. I think I did get it on Amazon. I think so. So this deck is currently $7.99 on Amazon. I don't remember how much I spent for it. I want to say I actually spent, I have to look at the records. It's probably like 10, something like that. But neither here nor there. Is this deck worth $7.99? Yes. Is this deck worth $15? Yes. Is this deck worth up to $20? Yes, I would say it is. So this is like a bargain, you know, this is a bargain. If the price is still $7.99 on Amazon, I would absolutely get it. Absolutely get it. This keeps on popping up. Someone is about to have an employment change. Whoever is watching this video, you are about to have an employment, you are about to have an employment change. And we'll go ahead and read, we're going to go ahead and read this as well. This was not supposed to be a poll, but this card keeps popping out. So we're going to listen to Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Your career path is leading you in a higher direction with purpose, with positive changes to support your dreams, priorities, and passion and life purpose. Trust that these changes will help you release old and welcome the new. You are being supported each step of the way. There you go. See what I mean? Very potent, very powerful deck. Definitely would recommend it. Definitely worth the $7.99. As I've done in all my other videos, I will leave the direct link to this particular deck. I will leave the link on in the description below so that you could just click the link and make the purchase so that you know you're getting the right deck. But I would give this a 5 out of 5. Why? The card quality and size I love. It's easy for me to shuffle. The quality of the card stock is, you know, I think it's a great quality. I think they did a good job with that. The print quality is also very nice. You know, it's a personal preference depending on your art. Well, the print quality will be the vibrance. So I think that this is pretty vibrant. Look at that. You have a lot of beautiful colors here that signify stunning, you know, that signify, that represent different things. So I think the print quality is great. The imagery, the art depends on your, you know, style or preference in art. But I think that this is really lovely. I think they did a great job. I definitely feel this is just stunning. I definitely feel a lot of spirit in this deck for sure. It's a deck that I use quite often. And then the words, like I said, the words are necessary in this deck. Very complimentary. They complement the imagery. And then the cost, I mean, you can't beat it, $7.99. So yeah, I would give this deck a 5 out of 5, honestly. That's my review, my opinion on the deck. If you have the deck and you have thoughts about it, put your thoughts in the comments below. I'm really interested to know what your experience has been. If you enjoy the deck, if you use it often, you know, what do you think about the price point, the quality, the card stock, things of that nature? What are your clients saying about the deck? If you saw the video today and you are like, oh my gosh, I love this deck, put in the comments after you purchase it, put in the comments what your experience has been. Do you like it? Do you love it? Is it a little bit less than you thought it would be as far as, you know, certain aspects that were mentioned in the video? I would love to hear your thoughts. Let's keep the community in the comments fun and respectful. And if you have stayed to watch this video up until this point, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and to give this video a thumbs up. Gonna take a sip of my smoothie. Voice is getting dry from the chatting, but yeah, don't forget to subscribe and like. And thanks for watching Tarot with Honey for this deck review. And remember, there are several other deck reviews in the playlist that I've created. So once you finish this, feel free to head on over to the playlist and check out the other video reviews that are there. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.